Good morning, class. Our topic today is about strategic training of human resources. And our reference is still the same in this lesson, the book Training and Development by Dr. Marivic F. Flores, Professor Angelita Ong Camilar Serrano, and Professor Rodolfo Lapaz Ducot. There are components of planning a training for the training to become strategic. Without those components, the chance to succeed in planning a training is very little. I will explain to you the 10 components one by one. The authors of our reference did not call it components. I decided to call it components because one of the synonyms of the word component is building block. And these 10 components, in my view, are the building blocks of strategizing a plan about training. The number one component is obviously expressed results. The desired and intended outcomes of the training cannot be excluded from planning. Whatever is the intended results of the training should be discussed with all the facilitators of the training. It should be discussed with the concerned management, and it should be discussed with the trainees in order for everyone to become aware of the direction and the destination of the training. And because the desired results are included in making plans, then that makes everyone who is involved in the training event to become focused in fulfilling a common and a specific goal. And that is the purpose of this strategy, because being focused has been proven many times that it is one of the reasons for success. The second component is guiding principles. When it comes to guiding principles, it is better to review the company's core values and make sure that they are applied from the very beginning of the training to the middle and even to the end of the training. Make sure that all organizers align their leadership with the company's core values. The attitude of the trainers in how they train the participants and how they treat them as trainees should not contradict the core values of the company. The same goes for the trainees. Their receptivity and eagerness to be trained must be aligned with the core values of the company. All the principles that will be formulated for the training must support the development of core values in every life of everyone involved in the training. The number three component of strategizing a plan about training is impact on the organization's mission and operations. The main purpose of the training must be made clear to everyone. Explain to all that the company has a mission that needs to be fulfilled. And the only ones who can fulfill the mission are the well-trained employees. Show the trainees their role in the company. Show them that they are the ones doing the daily jobs for the company to have daily operations. And the efficient and effective daily operations are the reason why the company fulfills its mission. Let the trainees realize their roles in fulfilling the mission in order for them to be aware that the purpose of the training is for them to become more skilled in performing their roles for the accomplishment of the company's mission. Let them see how far the company have come because of their skilled effort as a result of past training. Let them see also how far the company wants to go, and let them see they are the ones to fulfill it. That's why the training is being held. The number four component of strategizing a plan about training is the senior leaders and management involvement. Management not being involved in the planning of any training that will be held shows that training is not really important. And if it's not that important, then why should they waste time preparing for the training? Even in the actual training, everyone should see the support of the management. And when the participants see how much effort they put in to make the training successful, then they will be more serious about learning whatever is taught to them in the training. The presence of senior leaders also has a big positive impact on the organizers and even the trainees. So involving management and senior leaders in planning and conducting training is part of the strategy. Number five component, current state assessment. The training must be done because it is necessary, not just because it has become the company's tradition. Therefore, it is very important to first know what kind of training the employees need before starting the training. Sometimes the training needed is immediately known because of the current changes happening within the company. Just like upgrading office equipment or equipment for manufacturing. If that happens, then skill training is needed on how to use and operate the newly acquired equipment. Sometimes it is necessary to apply gap assessment. This, in turn, is anticipating the skills that will be needed from the current skills that are in the current employees and the future changes that the company is planning. The reason why planning for a training is called strategic is because the training that will be done is always related to meeting the needs of the company, whether it is present or in the future. The number 6 component, measurement and sustainability. Before the training can be sustained, the outcome of the training must be measured. And if the outcome of the training is that the goal of the training was met, but the proposed budget was exceeded, then an adjustment is needed in the next training. If training sustenance is needed or indeed needed. The profit that will be brought to the company must be measured because the amount of money that will be spent on a training depends on the amount of profit that the company can generate from the trainees. Training can no longer be called strategic if the cost of training is greater than what the company can earn from the trainees. So when the outcome of the training has been well measured, only then can alternatives be planned on how to sustain it. The next component of strategizing a plan about training is the end user input. For the training to be strategic, it is also necessary to know the sides of the trainees. It is important to find out the reasons why the level of performance of others is low. Why do others learn quickly and others slowly? Once the trainees' levels have been located, then the training approach must be leveled at their level. Start the training at their level, and the company will be effective in taking them to wherever the company wants to take them. Therefore, get a first-hand information from the trainees through personal interviews or survey, and consider their thoughts when planning about the training. Fit the training style with the style of the trainees. to make it interesting for them to learn faster. The next component is performance measure. For the training to be strategic, there should be a balance between helping low-level performers and enhancing high-level performers, which is like hitting two birds in one bullet. And to do that properly, there must be data as basis what really is the performance level of each trainee. Their performance levels can't just be assumed because that might seem like more on punching the air that aren't hitting anyone. So before they engage in training, the trainers should be familiar with the results of the trainee's performance appraisal. The trainers will be more effective when they know the real situation of the trainees. The next component is time frame. The first thing to put a time frame on is the trainees. Based on their performance appraisals and the personal information you gathered, plus other facts about them, you can now estimate how many days or hours they will learn the skills they need to learn. Based on the individual time frame, the time frame of the preparation and the training event itself can now be estimated. And the time that will be spent on general training, which is for all trainees, and on specific training, which is for individuals, will also be estimated and strategized. The training should not exceed the time frame because the longer the training, the higher the cost. And the training time cannot be insufficient because the target will not be hit and what is started will be wasted. The last component is development and planning. This is about all the possible action plans that need to be carried out and the possible development of each action and also the possible alternatives. What is being planned here is regarding the venue, date, the venue design, as well as the activities, the program flow, the equipment and materials that will be used for training. Refreshments and meals are also included in the plan. Who will be the coordinators and the overall director? Different committees are needed if the training is for large crowds such as receptionists, ushers, marshals, etc., etc. Maybe a guest speaker is needed, who is the possible speaker who can reinforce the goal of the training, not someone who will just tear down what you are trying to build. A guest performer may also be needed, who can be hired without affecting the training budget. Who will be the trainers? It is necessary to inform everyone in advance that they have enough time to prepare. And the last thing that is very important is to assign those who will do the post-event tasks so as not to have responsibilities after the training event. For now, we are done with this lesson. As usual, you have a quiz about this on your iConnect.